What is how often is your act always evolving?
Always.
Like something pops up in the news, you're like, oh, I got
to put that in my show. I have to give my take on it because I don't write jokes.
Right.
I get a topic, and when I actually do the show, I basically just give my opinion on how I feel about something. But I know to make it funny, to be facetious, to be sarcastic in some areas of the information.
Right.
But that's what I try to do.
We are definitely in an interesting time right now. I saw you recently go viral for saying that you were inspired by Trump's willingness to win, his will, his determination.
His will, right. I'm
just curious because there is a lot going on. There's a lot that a comedian could talk about, especially with the Elon stuff, and there's just a lot going on. Mm-hmm. What are your just thoughts on the temperature of where the country is right now from your perspective?
See, the people who follow me and the people who are listening now, the thing that I want to explain to people is you got to take your emotions out this game.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose.
Because it is a game.
It's a game. It's only 4 years. Every 4 years, it's the
and the rules might change.
And the rules might change. It happens in your income taxes. Right. It happens in property taxes. It happens in the banks. They change the laws every 4 years. So it's the Republicans against the Democrats. You got to take the emotion out the game and be in it like the stock market, like the long game.
Yeah.
What's the long game? I'm trying to teach people, if you don't like an Elon Musk or Donald Trump, use them to power you to become greater financially and mentally. Why? Because you're only upset because you're not part of the 1%.
Right.
See, if you was part of 1%, and when they cut these certain taxes,
you might not trip.
You ain't gonna trip.
Yeah.
You're gonna be happy than a motherfucker. If you Eric Adams, who's the mayor of New York City, you want to align yourself with powerful people who can influence judges. His case was dismissed today.
Yeah, it was dismissed this morning.
And people was upset because, oh my God, how can this happen to Eric Adams? But the goal is fuck your morals. The goal is to win. Every street hustle I know, wish they had money like Donald Trump, influence like Donald Trump,
right,
to get their case thrown out, even though the evidence shows that you're guilty. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I'll make sure I'm clear.
Right.
I just like what the motherfucker has done. He strategically put the judges in certain places. He strategically
just on some mafia gangster shit. He's definitely.
Thank you. So that's exactly what the effort is, right? He's putting district attorneys in certain places because he knew that if his case came up, you don't think he talked to them people? I'm gonna make you a judge,
right?
But if my case comes across your desk,
right,
delay. So I'm trying to get people to understand. I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump.
Right.
I'm a young man who made it in this game, right? Who took care of myself. I'm closer to 70 than I am 40-something years old. I want people to understand. Don't get emotional. Now, Van, and I'm going to make sure I'm clear, Van did something yesterday that he's explained that Trump wasn't a leader to him. What he thought was a leader was a woman who's a person who's determined.
But you also didn't say a leader. You just said you inspired his.
I'm inspired. He said a woman and 3 children. And tomato. That has nothing to do with it. I respect the woman. My mother had to raise 3 kids because my dad died when I was 14 years old, right? Mm-hmm. I respect any woman, Black, Spanish, Italian, Morocco, Maroon, African. Right. If you're raising 3 children, I support you. But Van, I just think it was wrong that you brought in the female thing to a message I was trying to get across. The message I'm trying to get across is to any man, hustler, woman out here working, don't let nothing hold you down. Don't let nothing stop you from achieving if that's what you want to achieve. Now, don't get me wrong. I got morals. I love my grandchildren.
Of course.
I love my kids. Morally. But you got to know when to say fuck morals and get it done.
Yeah, I think that there's like you said, the emotion side of it is hard for a lot of people to get over. But if you were to just tell somebody like, hey, this person, someone tried to kill him and they prosecuted him, some could say drummed up some felonies that weren't felonies, convicted him, and still, he won a position at a job.
Yes.
Just remove the name Donald Trump. You'd be like, damn.
Exactly.
Now, that's not to say you agree with anything politically that he's doing.
Yes.
But it's like, if you just look at it, you're like, yo, I at least respect the fact that push through all of the,
Man, that's amazing to me.
And it would be amazing if somebody did that in the streets and then ended up being the CEO of a company, or somebody did that on the left and ended up,
Yes. I've been in front of more than one judge.
Right.
I can relate to Donald because I beat my cases, right?
It has nothing to do with the politics. It's like, yo, if you just look at remove your emotions from the situation.
Remove your emotions, remove politics, and see what I'm saying. Now, if I talked about politics, I'm going to tell you I don't like a lot of shit that motherfucker's doing.
For sure.
That's me, right?
Me either.
You do what you want to do, but me, it's a lot of shit he's doing I don't. Like if we talking politics.
Of course.
But I want people to listen to comprehend, not listen to reply.
And not some people don't listen with their ears, they listen with their heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to you, when you hear me, you may not like what I'm saying, but just for a moment say, you know what, let me take a beat. Let me really think about where TK is coming from this. Because I'm an old head. Years ago when a person elder spoke, you took the time to listen to make sure you understood what they were saying. Now, don't get me wrong. Today, kids will say, "Oh, I can't respect all the people because they're all the people that make it." We didn't care when we was young.
Right.
If an older person spoke, you shut the F up. You listen to what they had to say. You might walk away mad and have an attitude, but your parents and your grandparents didn't care. It was what it was. And what we're trying to do in these type of platforms is give people the ability to win. Because I tell them in my show, the government don't give a fuck about you. You listen to me. They don't care. You better do whatever you got to do to survive in this game because we're all getting older. You're running out of opportunities.
Right.
And I was taught years ago, you don't want to be old and be broke. You do not want to be old and be broke. And you can't depend on your children. I talk about that in my stand-up too.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of the stuff that, that people depend on, Social Security, who knows what's going to happen?
You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. After 4 years, it might go back to norm. But Donald Trump is doing so much damage.
He is.
That... And he's only been there, 2 or 3 months?
It feels like 2-3 years.
He's here. So imagine if nothing happens to him, God, I don't know. Imagine what's going to happen by the time 4 years is done. He's done all this. And I think he just goes to sleep and wake up and says, I'm going to write an executive order.
I would say if Donald Trump taught anybody anything, it's how much the Democrats are full of shit. Because
Explain that part.
If they governed the way Trump is governing, if Joe Biden... the first 90 days of him being in office was firing off executive orders.
I totally agree.
And putting his dick on the table no matter what the optics were.
Yes.
He might have won again.